event to a massive audience. With up to 700,000 Washington, D.C. residents, 6 million Maryland residents, and 8 million Virginia residents, you'll be able to reach a wide range of people. If you're interested and want more information, feel free to give Dr. David Evans a call at 202-505-2837. He'll be more than happy to assist you and skyrocket your event. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity.
What's the TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
Queen, what's the TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
What's the TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
TV network you're going to be watching?
Pick TV Network.
TV network you guys going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
Happy man. What's the TV network y'all going to be checking out?
The Pick TV Network.
Pick TV Network.
Let's go.
David Evans.
You did the two things we always talk about. What's that? You worked hard and you
Have fun.
have fun, my man.
That's a real star you got there.
Thanks.
Take care of those hands. They're taking you places.
I got hands. I'm gonna go pro.
You definitely could.
Easy money.
Easy money. Have you ever thought about what else you could be? Go along, son. You could be a brain surgeon. Your hands could operate as skillfully as Dr. Myron Rowe. Or a sports agent, handling big contracts, like Rich Paul. What about an artist? You can be as creative as Brian Blue the Great. The art you make could inspire the world. Son, you can even be an astronaut. Flying in space with Leland D. Melvin. Sure, with those hands, you could play for a team, but you could buy a team. Ownership. Get to wear the rings first.
I can do all that, Dad?
You can be anything you want with these hands.
Hey everybody, this is David Evans, President Pick TV Network. Want to send a lot of love out to everybody watching right now from around the world. Listen, Pick TV Network is the people's investment channels, and we are on Roku television, and we on all social media platforms, and we're excited about a brand new show that we're creating from scratch. I want to welcome our audience from Brazil, France, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Paris, Peru, Argentina, Egypt, Canada, Ireland, West Africa, United Kingdom, Australia, Belgium, United States, and all over the world who's watching. Roku is the #1 streaming device in the world, bigger than Apple, bigger than Google, bigger than everybody's out there. Roku is #1, and we are #1 with Roku with multiple channels on Pick TV Network. You can watch us right now on our platforms and on our television channels on Roku. Now, it's a brand new show that we created from scratch just for you. and it's called God's Talk Show. Now, this is a promo for it. And those of you who want to come on this show, we welcome you. We're looking for anybody who really, really have a love for God to come on and share your testimony, your story. Let's talk about why I created this show. This television show was designed for people who want to come on television and talk about God. You know, one of my first questions is going to be, what does God mean to you? I want to ask you that when you come on this show, God's Talk Show, a brand new TV show on Pick TV Network. Again, those who want to be on this show, God's Talk Show, our studio lines are open because we're soliciting you to come on this talk show. I want to ask you, what does God mean to you? He means everything to me. From the time I get up to the time I lay down, every breath I breathe, every move I make, my steps are ordered because of God. And I want you to come on God's Talk Show. The second thing we're going to ask you is, what is your favorite Bible verse and why? One of my favorite Bible verses is Luke 52. And the Bible verse says, Jesus grew in wisdom, stature, having favor with God and man. Luke 2:52. Jesus grew in wisdom, intellectually, stature, physical form, having favor with God spiritually and man socially. I learned that in Bible college, and it's always one of my pet scriptures. I'm also going to ask you, and I see my man Joel Hill is in the bottom. This God's Talk Show, we're going to see, what does it mean to be born again? I want to ask you that question, to be born again. Many people are like Nicodemus, saying, how can I be born again? Can I go into my mother's womb a second time? Nope. You must be born of the water and of the Spirit. I'm going to ask you that question when you come on the God's Talk Show. We're also going to ask you, how has God blessed you in your walk with him? Man, my walk with God, I've been blessed. Jesus. I mean, from the age of 9, that my mother, who's gone to heaven, said I was going to be a preacher. And I didn't never really believe that day was going to happen, but she prophesied. My mother prophesied into my life. And now here it is, 40 years later, blessing people from all over the world, ministering to people from all over the world with the gospel of Jesus Christ. My first love is the gospel. Thank God for the president of Pick TV Network title that I have and the work that we've been doing for the last 4 years, interviewing people, meeting people around the world. But my first love is the gospel. It's the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. Matter of fact, you know, being a leader in the community, a pastor in the community for many, many years before I did this television that I'm doing now, I pastored a church called Christ Fellowship. And that church grew and grew. And then we branched off and started New Living Way ministry, you know, and many, many preachers in the DMV know me. I came out of Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church, Bishop Owens. And my ministry calling is my first calling. Went to Bible college, teaching and blessing people with the gospel. Will always be my yeah, I know you did, Joel. It will always be my first calling. Robert is coming in the audience too. Well, come on, Robert, come on in the studio. My first calling is the gospel. It's to bless people with the word of God, to pray with people. In the transition that we made in the midst of COVID, where we our building, we didn't go back into our building because of the COVID situation, but now I'm virtually doing still speaking engagements and blessing people. I want to give a shout out to Pastor James Lee. He allowed me to speak at his church for a whole month, and Sundays of last year. He went on vacation and said, Evans, you take over the church. And I said, okay, I'll just do what I do. Many, many doors have been opened for my ministry, and I thank God. So when I ask you guys the question, how has God blessed you in your walk with him? That's number 4. The next question we're going to ask you, please express your experience as God as a guest on Pick TV Network. And we're going to talk about how you feel about coming on this network and talking about God. Many times people come on networks, and this is what really prompted me to do this show. They come on television, many sports players, after the game is over, after the Super Bowl, after the big big games that they play, and they say, I want to give honor to the Lord, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and they exit out. Many people who come on the big stages receiving awards and awards ceremonies, they can say anything, but when they talk about God and Jesus Christ, they exit out, they edit it out. And I said, I'm going to do a talk show where people can talk about God. No editing, no exiting it out. When you can talk about God all you want to right here. And I want to get some amazing folks to come on. I'm soliciting you to come on, share your testimonies. Talk about the power of God in your life from your heart. You know, let's talk about life-changing testimonies. Some of you were on a deathbed and God brought you back. You need to tell that testimonies. Signs and wonders and prayers. Some of you in your marriage has been healed. This is a God talk show. You can talk about your deliverance, your restoration, when you're feeding the homeless or the elderly, or aiding somebody who's sick and somebody who's been in prison. The God Talk Show is about people who want to talk about God and not be restricted, not to be limited, not to be cut off. So this talk show is all about you. I'm going to bring my man Joel Hill up because Joel has been my friend. He's a believer. He's an investor in Pick TV Network. And I just told him, man, come on and help me in this show. Joel, how you doing tonight, man?
Good evening, Dr. Evans. It is absolutely a pleasure being here with you this evening, and thank you for the invitation. And I just want to give thanks to God for just allowing me to be present on your program tonight.
Man, thank you, man. You know, this is the first time I'm doing a show because I create TV shows, programs, short films, and then the asset. But the God Talk Show, Joel, is a show that I created that we're going to talk about God. I see Robert coming on the background. Robert's in the back. We're going to bring him up in a second. How do you feel, Joel, when you have a talk show, a TV show, where you're not restricted when you're talking about God, man? Not X'd out, not edited, how you feel about that?
Well, Dr. Evans, as you know, we've had discussions about Pick TV. Pick TV itself, I believe it stands for the People Investment Television Station Network, or something along that line. And early on, when we decided to partner, several years ago during the Alzheimer's Association, we had a discussion about programming, and it's specifically programming within the popular culture that we have now. And at that time, I had young kids in the house, and I was like, wow, I wish there were some alternative program where I didn't have to see things that I particularly didn't value on television. And so that's why I think we became intrigued, and we downloaded the Pick TV app on the Roku streaming channel. And so now we can almost guarantee that the content that's there, the program that's there, has been picked with care. And that it doesn't have, you don't have any problems bringing content to people that doesn't evolve things that, necessarily of the nature and beauty of God. So I think, from being a military officer, retired, that, one of the things that I signed up to do was protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And so one of those rights and freedoms that we have is obviously the freedom of speech and freedom of worship. And so being able to still participate in a program today in this country, going through what we're going through now, and talking and speaking about what we believe, and the fact that we believe in a risen Savior, a resurrected Christ. We believe in God the Father and the Holy Spirit. I mean, to just say that and let that roll off my tongue, this is empowering to me that we are able to continue to do that. And we can do that unrestricted.
There you go.
On your network.
Yeah, and I love that. I'm going to bring Robin in a second. When we're talking about big events, I'm talking about the Super Bowl, the NBA championship, the finals, or the big golf tournaments, or being on the big stages, on the biggest stages in the world for award ceremonies. And Next thing you know, somebody get up and say, I want to give honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this opportunity. And they edit it out. They literally edit that out. And I was like, why in the world would you edit something out that person's stating that he wants to give glory to God? You know? So when I came up with the idea of the God's Talk Show, it's for anybody who want to come on and they want to express some beautiful words about God, man. And Robert is on with us today. This is his first time coming on. Hey, Robert, how you doing, man? You on with us, sir?
Hey, listen, it's great to be here. First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good, man. You can come back a little bit. We can see you and hear you. We can see you and hear you. You're looking good.
I am so glad to be here, Dave. I'm glad you invited me. I am really joyful to be here. And I was listening to a lot of what you were just saying just now, why God is removed by so many. And I think part of the problem is that there's a lot of fear out there of recognizing God. And yet somehow we always seem to invoke him in a lot of our subtitles or in a lot of our stories, but yet we pull him back when we're afraid that we're going to somehow insult those who don't recognize it. And it's unfortunate that that's the way it is. But I believe, in my opinion, I think you have to go to this, forget about all that other nonsense, and just go to it, because he is our creator. He's the one who brought us where we are. And each of us have our own examples of why life is the way it is and why life has brought us to this point. And why we wouldn't recognize this is because we've had so many examples of this, but yet this is where we are. And that's all I can say for the moment.
That's a lot, you know, and I'm happy you coming on, being a writer and a movie actor, you know, and just to share your testimony. You know, we met in California out there at Universal Studios. Man, you hit it off real good, man, out there, and became brothers, man. We talked today about a big movie project you helping me to do on Pick TV Network. And I'm excited, man. But one thing you said today to me when we were talking about this show, the first time coming on, you haven't been to church in a long time, but you know God keeps saving your life. And there's millions of people like out there watching you right now. Tell people, because they feel like because they're not in church, they're not close to God. Talk about that right there.
I think that's another part of the problem, is that people think that because they haven't been to church for years, that somehow that they're not associated with God. Now, God wants us in our lives. And I'm not suggesting for one moment that none of us should go to church. I'm just saying that for me and my wife, we have not been to church. However, we have God in our lives in terms of how we conduct ourselves, how we treat other people, and we always recognize that God is in our life because he has been. He brought us together. He brought my wife and I together. And for me to not recognize that, I'd have to be a fool. So he's in our life. And I understand why some people might say, well, gee, if I don't go to church, there must be something wrong with me. That maybe because I don't go to church, that maybe God is going to hate me. And that's not true. I can tell you that God loves everybody as he's loved me, as he has loved my wife, as he has loved so many other people. And I think we just have to sometimes realize that in our imperfections, because we are imperfect, is that we have the ability to live our lives as long as we treat others. And I believe that we should treat others with respect and kindness, it will come true to each and every one of us because God loves us. And I think that's the best way I could put that.
You know, Rob, when you was talking about that, I thought about my sister Edie, who was had MS. She couldn't come to church for almost 10 years. She loved God. She loved the people. She was still very, very close to God. And she never complained, even till the day that she passed away, about her sickness. She never, ever complained. She always talked about how good God was and always put love out there, you know. And she couldn't come to the building. She was in a rehab. She was in the nursing home. She was restricted, but she always lifted up God. And this God talk show, you know, is for everybody who's out there right now. You know, God hasn't abandoned you. He hasn't forgotten you. He still loves you. You know, I'm going to bring up Jerome Boyd, who's a good friend of mine, and I want him to talk about his dad. We often talk. He's my brother. We come on together. He helped me build this network. He's going to get stable in a minute. But I wanted him to talk about his father, because here is a man whose dad was missing out of his life for almost 30 years without a father. One day he heard the phone ring, and on the other end, there was somebody asking about him, is this the right number? And it was his dad. He was missing out of his life for almost 30 years. Jerome, can you talk about the story, man? Because you know I get emotional when I hear you say about it, man.
Oh yes, without a doubt. I'm actually writing a book now about my life. My father was missing out of my life for over 50 years, actually. And to God be the glory. When he left, I was a little boy. He told my mother had 6 kids, 4 boys and 2 girls. He told my mother that he was moved to California because they had separated. He couldn't handle that. So he told my mother that he was moving to California. Keep in mind, I'm getting ready to turn 60 in November. And so at that time, I was about 5 years old. And so he told my mother he was going to California, to start his life over. But he was going to take the 2 oldest boys with him, the 2 older boys, because my mother has 4 boys and 2 girls. So to make a long story short, he left to go to California, but he never came and got the 2 boys. He never came and got my 2 older brothers. He never came to take them with him. So after he left, years went past, realized that no one's in contact with him. He never heard them from him. So by this time, 10 or 15 years went past. So we had to investigate to find out what was going on with him, my sister and us. And there was no response. 20 years went past, no response. 30 years went past, no response. Keep in mind, in all this time, no one was in contact with him. His mother, his sisters, and all his brothers lived here. I buried his mother at 99 years old, which was my grandmother. I buried 2 of his brothers and 1 of his sisters. So all this time, I'm doing homeless ministry. I'm preaching the gospel and feeding the homeless, me and my wife. And so 30 years went past. We tried it again. They said Social Security number was not active. That could have been anything. We assumed he probably was dead. But make a long story short, about 45 years later, I would say about 45 years, my wife was in the kitchen. She got a phone call saying that they had somebody down in Maine that might be some kin to us. And my wife said, Timothy Bowie. My husband got a brother named Timothy Bowie, but he lived here. They said, no, he's a senior. So come to find out, after all them years, 45, 50 years, it was my father. He had collapsed in the store after being missing for 50 years. Nobody knew where he was at. His mother, his sisters, his brothers, his wife, my mother, who was still married to him, nobody knew nothing about where he was at. So make a long story short, it was my father. He was in a mental hospital out in Maine. He had collapsed because he had cancer. So after all the years, we reunited. It was my brother. And the strange thing about it was his sister lived in Maine. So we called her and she went over to the hospital. She started crying. So that's my brother. I mean, so she hadn't heard from him. Nobody heard from him after all this time, 50 whole years. But come to find out, after all that time, he was roaming the streets, homeless and mentally disabled. So the reason why his Social Security number was inactive because he probably didn't even know it. So he was mentally unstable. And make a long story short, we went out there to get him. Brought him back home, nursed him back to health, me and my wife. Come and stay with us for 6, 7 months. He got himself together. He was hearing voices and everything, so we had to go get him checked in. because we didn't want nothing to happen to none of us because he was hearing things. And one time he actually left the backyard and I had to go running down the street, find him. You know what I mean? But he was just, but he got himself together. The medication, he was able to get his own place. He was able to cook his own food after that. And I was taking him down to the parks to feed the homeless. And I would ask him, I do a field that had been homeless all that time. And now you feed the homeless. But make a long story short, he came back into our life. He died 3 years later from the cancer. But his latter days was his greater days. We never complained. Nobody never said anything ill about him. We all loved him back to life. All 6 of his kids were still alive. And we loved him. He got the chance to see his grandkids and great-grandkids. But 45, 50 years in our life, he was missing. But God allowed us to have closure with that story. He came back in our life. Him and my mother had never got divorced. She was still married to him. So his last days, my mother and my older brother was his caregiver on his last days on this earth. So I did a eulogy. I preached his eulogy. But to God be the glory, man. God kept him all that time. Even though he was homeless and mentally, God gave us closure in our family with him.
Yeah, you know, every time I hear that, I remember the day that you said I found my father, and we were talking on the phone, and many times, because we talk every day, man. You helped me start this network, one of my founding persons, and I remember the day you said I'm going to see my dad. And it made me feel so good, man. And then I remember you told me Pops passed away, but just to have him in your life, Bowie, and to be able to spend time with Dad after 40-something years, and you never had a beef with him, you never had an argument, man, to have him in your house. And you can't tell me, man, that's God didn't love him. You can't tell me God didn't care for him. That's why this God Talk show is so important, man. For everybody watching out there, there is hope. You know, there's love, there's inspiration. Joe, when you hear Pastor Bowie's story, Joe, what does that do you, man? I want to hear from Joe here. Joe, when you hear his story about his dad, what does that mean to you, Joe?
Well, I have to sit up on that because obviously I know Pastor Bowie, very powerful man of God, and he has been your co-worker out in the field, feeding the homeless, clothing those who don't have the basic needs, and so delivering food and trucks. And so when I think what he had just said about his dad, you know, he's a worker, and so the scripture that came to mind was 2 Timothy, 2nd chapter 15. It says, "Be diligent to present yourself approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly divide the word of truth." And so, even though Pastor Bowie's father wasn't in his life at the time, God's hand was still on him, and God's hand was still on his dad. And again, I'm sure those last several years that Jerome had, that he went through something, a transformation itself. And you asked the question, what does it feel like to be born again? Well, you just saw a living example of what Pastor Bowie did. It essentially was that he resurrected his father. I mean, oh my gosh, he brought him back to life, and they had 3 years together. And so I can tell you that, missing or losing someone that you love, and you don't know where they are at any time of night. Just imagine a parent waiting for their child to come home, and they never come home, and they wait years and years. And so you're right, there is no closure, and there is no peace. But God smiled upon Pastor Bowie, and he gave him peace. And so I think it is a moving story.
Yeah, it means so much, when I hear him say that, man. I tear up because I'm real close to him, and to have his dad be found after all of those years, man, it's amazing, man. My father passed away 97, 98. My mom, they were married 50 years. My father passed away first, and then my mother passed away first, then my father. But I was so close to my dad, I can remember as a kid seeing him coming down off the 70 bus on Spring Road, and I see my dad 4 blocks away, and I run and grab him. I run fast as I can to put my arms around my father. So close. He was one of the first deacons in my church, a giver, a supporter. I seen my father turn from alcohol to Winston cigarettes to non-smoking, man. I seen this just change his life, man. And I felt honored and blessed, man, to have this talk show for everybody's watching right now. This is a God talk show. And those who want to come on, the studio line is open, 202-505-2837. This is our kickoff for it. And we'd love to have you to be a part of the God's Talk Show. You can come on and you can talk about God. We're not arguing, fussing, fighting. We're not going to denomination barriers. This is not what this show is about. It's about sharing your testimony and what has God done in your life. And maybe you like Pastor Boyd. Maybe your dad been missing. Maybe you like, Robert, who haven't been in church for a while, but still knowing God saves his life and wakes him up every morning and gives us another chance. Maybe you like Joel, who comes on here and supports the network. So I can't be a president of a television network and leave God out. I can't. I got to do something to say thank you, Lord, for blessing us with all these channels, the sports channel, the cooking channel, the food channel, all these channels I have on, the movie channel. But I got to do something. I had to do a show, man, to show God how much we love him. Well, I'm going to come right back. I'm going to bring Robert back up. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. You're watching Pick TV Network, brand new show. It's called God's Talk. We'll be right back after this. Don't touch that dial.
If you're 45 and over, listen up tonight. Colon cancer untreated could take your life. Get it right, get screened, no time to be silent. Take a home test or hit your healthcare provider. Colon cancer in the black and brown community, no joke. Chill on the alcohol, ease up on the smoke. Realize there's hope, but you gotta catch it early though. Without a health screening, you won't even know. Get tested, pay attention to the signs. Talk to your doctor and check your behind. What's coming in and what's coming out. Healthy eating is always the best route. I suggest you talk to your family, your inner circle, and screaming and proactive, and it won't hurt you. We all want to live our lives the best we could be. Go check your colon. Peace, I'm Chuck D. Save lives, and peep the deeper meaning. Stand up to cancer and get a screening. Save lives, take control of your health. Get knowledge for yourself, and it's the real wealth. Save lives, and peep the deeper meaning. Stand up to cancer and get a screening. Save lives, I'ma tell you the deal. Colon cancer is real.
StandUpToCancer.org.
The depression I've had has been based around not letting go of people that have used or betrayed me. Today, I'm grateful for letting people go. Walk away from people who put you down. Walk away from fights that will never be resolved. Walk away from trying to please people who will never see your worth. The more you walk away from things that poison your soul, the healthier you will be. Today, I'm grateful for walking away. What are you grateful for? Please share in the comments and click the subscribe button to hear daily gratitude. Be grateful and share this with your friends.
Yes, and we're grateful for a brand new show on the Pick TV Network, and it is God's Talk Show. My good friend, who's always with me, that is Jerome Bowie. Bowie, we've been together, man, from the beginning of this television network. You always encouraged me when we first started saying this is going to work. And now it is a brand new hit show we having on God's Talk Show. And Well, you feed the homeless, man. You go down there, you and your wife, renting the trucks out, and I mean rain, sleet, snow, cold. Your whole goal was to build the biggest homeless shelter in the world. You told me you want to build the largest homeless shelter. And talk about Samaritan Feet, because tell me what does that mean to you, Jerome?
Well, it's amazing because, like I say, I'm in the process of finding the right people to write this book about my father being missing. Because the revelation is, I have a passion. Me and my wife have a passion for homeless. I never knew why I had this passion. Come to find out all the years my father was homeless. So I was always connected to some of the homeless. Like we did on Martin Luther King birthday here in the city, over at the men's shelter. We did the Samaritan Feet. We gave over 150 homeless people brand new tennis shoes, washed their feet with the Samaritan Feet, and we prayed over them, man. Gave them socks and shoes, man. It was a blessing. Our new Samaritans out of Africa, they goal was to give millions of inner city kids brand new shoes. So far, to record, they gave over 10 million brand new shoes out. Nike, the Reebok connected with them. The NCAA college tournament connected with them. Matter of fact, a lot of the coaches doing the NCAA tournament basketball, they coach with no shoes on in honor of Samaritan Feet.
Wow.
Yeah. So to God be the glory. God has connected me with a lot of different people, like companies that, like we had the warehouse with all the food and all the clothes and all the backpacks and all the appliances to Walmart and 360, good 360. So God has been blessing me with homeless and connecting me with that connection, because he knew I didn't know that my father was homeless. He's homeless all the years.
Yeah. Man, and I want to thank you. We just on Instagram also connecting with our audience there. When we talk about this brand new hit show on Pick TV Network, God's Talk Show, you've seen it, Jerome, where people come on, big award shows, Super Bowl, NBA championships, and as soon as they say something about God, giving honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, God bless me, they edit that out.
Yes. It's good to be able to come on to a show and talk freely about Jesus.
Yeah.
I can say that without having to sign a paper saying I won't say his name. He does for you. My God.
Yeah.
Something about that name.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, man, to be on television. When I was at Paramount Studios last month, Warner Brothers Studios, Universal Studios, you were texting me every day, man. Every day we're talking about this. And talk about the food trucks we had, because I don't know nobody like you who was feeding thousands and thousands of people. Tractor trucks with the food would come in, and how the Spanish community on 16th Street, I believe that food was gone in 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Yes, we had 4 tractor trailers for the food. And we did the call up on the 16th Street. We hooked up with some churches in that area, dominant Spanish area, and they lined up and came, and the truck was unloaded and given out within 2 hours. That was the greater the need. It was a need, and that particular day, through the connection from you and what God has did, we was able to get 4 tractor trailers to that community of food, man. I mean, eggs and meats and vegetables, man. It was a blessing. We had so many volunteers to unload them trucks, man, and they were just, as we was unloading, we was also, I had some churches to come up with their trucks to take to their community to give out. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. And anybody's out there, we have a project. We're getting ready to come into the holiday seasons again. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's coming around. Let's talk about Project Smiles for a minute, because people watch things around the world. They don't understand. We adopt families. We give away gift cards. We give away toys. We give away. I mean, last year, remember we had these people to come to the real estate office.
To the real estate, yes. Families. I mean, we gave her brand new bikes. And one kid said he never had a brand new bike. We gave her brand new bikes and toys and the smiles on their face. And also we was able to connect a couple of families that was homeless to shelter.
Yep.
And to food banks in the area. Man, it was a blessing.
Yeah, I remember when we were having the program, there was a lady, she had to have about 10 kids last year. and she was
Yes.
hungry. She said she don't have any food for her family, and you opened the food bank. You opened the food bank.
Yes. Yes. We had to give them plenty of food and their family members. It was just a blessing. Man, they came to get the toys, and then the same day they got double blessed. We took them up the street to the food bank, and we my God, to God be the glory for the
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah, we always look to give away stuff to help people doing Project Smiles. But the boy, I wanted to, because people don't know about the overflow distribution center that you oversaw, where people have you literally would pick up crates of items from Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Bad Beef Beyond. You had a warehouse full of 5 blocks where people would come and get things. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Awesome. It was awesome. We had over 10,000 backpacks. We had microwaves, blenders. We actually was able to give care packages to the college people going to college. Microwaves, blenders, and sheets and blankets. All of us come through all the different, like you said, Walmart, Target, and all of them, because people don't know they also give back to communities. They give to churches and they give to nonprofit organizations. And through Good 360, we was able to connect with them. And our warehouse stayed full and stayed empty because people came and got what we had, and we made sure we gave it out as God blessed us to get it. Because you got to understand, the big time multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies, they write it off. So why not give it to the community where they can be a part of it? They give it to us, the crates, and they write it off. We give it to the community.
Yeah, it's so.
Let me say this: Pick TV Network is going to celebrate 4 years. We need your help. We need your help. Anybody's watching, put your sign up. You can donate to Pick TV Network, because I always tell people all the time, salvation is free, but ministry costs. It costs to be on the air. It costs to do this. It costs to do the things we do. And a lot of times people don't even know. We don't talk about it. Pick TV has been in the radio on many occasions because our heart is not about the money. It's about the people. But we do need money to help run. So we ask you to give to Pick TV Network if you can. And there's nothing wrong with asking for giving when you give it to good ground. We do so much all year round. And a lot of times we come out of our own pocket with a lot of things. So we've been in red a lot, but we keep moving, keep going, and keep believing God. So put up the information for people can give, because I know this is gonna be reran. We want people to have a heart to give.
And folks, Jerome Bowie is an investor. He invested in starting this network. He's one of my right-hand founders for this network. He encouraged me so many times. Can you imagine having a television network with 60 channels? That's what we kicked it off with, 60 channels. We started from scratch. So we created podcast channels, faith-based channels. We created movie channels, music channels. We were one of the only networks that Floyd Mayweather's boxing and fitness studio allowed us to come in and do the media coverage. You remember that, Jerome?
Yes, it was awesome. Right in Southwest Washington, D.C., yes.
Yeah, we were the only network that let us come in and do the media coverage of that. The Black Caucus, we've been there. We've been doing so many events around the city. It's just so many things going through my mind about Pick TV Network and where we come from and where we are going. I see my man Joe popped in. Joe Hill is back in there. He's with the Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's Walk. Joe, can you talk about that for a minute about what do you do? And thank you for allowing me to interview the mayor, James, down there. And thank you for just the opening doors. But can you talk about what are you doing to help the folks who for Alzheimer's?
Well, Dr. Evans, in the past we partnered together with the National Walk for Alzheimer's Association within the last several years. And within the last several years, I served in the capacity as the chairperson for the Charles County, Maryland Walk for Alzheimer's. Each year we have a large walk in Charles County, normally at the La Plata Town Hall. This year it's going to be held, I believe, September 23rd. I'm not sure of that date, but you may want to check the Charles County Walk. But in the past, we've held it at various other venues, and I think the last time we partnered, Dr. Evans, with Pick TV Network, we were at the Blue Crab Stadium in Charles County, Maryland, and we had a tremendous time, raising money, bringing awareness of this dreadful disease, because we all know someone who is impacted or affected by Alzheimer's in a family or someone else's family. And so Alzheimer's it's a terrible disease because it robs us of the memories of their memories of our loved ones. And so it's a disease that we are working diligently to eradicate. Charles County, over the last 10 years since I was chairperson, in the last 10 years, we raised almost $1 million for the National Alzheimer's Walk Association. So this year, we are just participating in the walk. We don't have a major role in the Walk for Alzheimer's, but we certainly support it throughout with donations and volunteering to provide, refreshments to the walkers that are there.
Thank you, Joe. Always enjoy you coming on Pick TV Network, being with me, a supporter and investor in the network, man. And for those who are watching, we had a brand new show that we're birthing, and you're watching the first kickoff for our God's Talk Show. There's a lot of people watching us now. We're on Instagram who want to come on a talk show, and you can talk about God. No restrictions. We're not going to edit it out. There's some stars on here right now. You don't have to sign anything like that. You can talk about God and what he means to you, and what God has done in your life. If you want to come on this show, it's a brand new hot show on Pick TV Network. The studio line is right there. We're not even charging folks. We're not even asking you to put anything out of your pocket. We want you to come on this show. We're on Roku. We have multiple channels. This is one of the shows that I created to talk about God without any restrictions. To share your testimony, to share your story. Some of you watching me right now, you come from being, oh man, I'm almost dead, and have a second chance in life. We want to hear that story. We want to know what God is doing in your life. Some of you came from accidents and incidents, and the world won't even believe what you have to say, but we're going to give you an opportunity to share it on this brand new show that I created. So it's called God's Talk Show. It's a TV show on my network, on Pick TV Network, the God's Talk Show. And again, we have a fitness channel. We have a cooking channel. We have a sports channel. We have a movie channel. We have a music channel. But we also have shows that I create from scratch. And one of the shows that I created is God's Talk Show, where we talk about God. We're not fighting. We're not debating. We're not talking about your religion. We're not talking about all that stuff. We're just talking about the goodness of God in your life. And I'm excited about this brand new show, Joe. How about you?
Yeah, I just want to circle back to Pastor Bowie's powerful story, and it resonated with me. And as I was sitting here listening to him, and this is a show about God, and I was thinking, but God made that connection happen. Only God can bring things full circle like that. And so, in his story, I mean, it's rife with a lot of themes of love, loss, reconciliation, and in that twist of fate that brought Jerome and his father back together. I have to say, but God. And so, what it did for me, it just showed me that God is a God of second chances, and he gave Jerome a second chance. He gave his father a second chance, and so Pastor Bowie, I think what he found in helping others, he found what he had been searching for. So in him helping homeless, he found his father who was homeless. Wow, what a twist of fate! But
wow, that's so true. Wow. That would bless me. That's why I always say, wow, look at God, how he did that. Only God can do that. Only God can do that. That's why I'm motivated now. If anybody know any writers, I'm actually trying to get a book written right now. I've been writing for a couple of months, but I don't know all the procedures, what goes in it. I've been talking to some people. I want to get the book out because I already have somebody want to do the movie, but I want to do the book first. because I think it's a powerful testimony to mental health, to homelessness, and to love. Because I did his eulogy, and I preached it. When I preached my father's eulogy, the title was "What Love Has to Do with It," because none of us blamed him for anything. We loved him back to life. All 6 of his kids were still alive, 4 boys, 2 girls.
Wow.
So my mother had never got divorced from him. She was his caregiver his last days, my older brother. We loved him back to life. That's what it's all about.
Wow.
It ain't about where you been and what happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and to have your dad mission on your life for 40 years and then show up, man, and you don't beef with him. You went to pick him up, boy. Tell us, man, because I want the world to understand. You're watching not just social media. We have a television network with multiple channels, folks, on Pick TV Network. Boy, when you went to pick your dad up, man, after receiving that phone call that he's alive, after 40 years out of your life missing, how did you feel when you first saw him, man?
Yeah, I didn't believe it because I had just preached in that Friday night out in Bowie. And after that, after preaching, me and my 2 brothers, we had a van. We jumped in the van. We were out of Tremaine. We got on the road, went to Tremaine to get him because the hospital was trying to release him. I said, "You can't release him. This man been gone for 45 years. We had no clue where he was at because they like we ready to release him." Then so we said, "No, we coming to get him." So we went to get him. So on that ride, there I was just thanking God. And then when I seen him for the first time, man, it was like overwhelming because God answered my prayers. He gave me understanding and peace, even to know that my father was still alive. Because as far as I'm concerned, he might have been dead or anything. I didn't know because his Social Security number was inactive all the time. We have investigators, my sister, have investigators. We never knew what was going on with him. But I'm gonna tell you how God works. He has a sister that was living less than 35 minutes from the hospital that he was at. Now he went out looking for a sister. He wasn't looking for a sister because he didn't know his sister lived there. He didn't know he wasn't in contact with nobody for 45 years. I buried his mother at 99 years old, threw her a party at 98 years old. I buried 2 of his brothers and another one of his sisters. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that he knew his sister was in Maine. He had trying to find her. He happened to be in Maine, 35 minutes from his sister. She went to the hospital and started crying. Said, "That's my brother." She called and said, "That's him. That's your father." So it was overwhelming feelings. Never did I think, well, wow, he left us. What happened? None of that. That never came to my mind. All I did was have love for the time.
Yeah, man. I mean, to have your dad's hug, man, that first hug after 45 years, man, I know that had to be so special in your life.
Yes. That first Thanksgiving was so special. All his kids and grandkids, and we took him to the Commanders game. It was Redskins at the time. Took him to the Redskins game. Took him downtown and let him feed the homeless. Asked him, "How do it feel now? All this time you just walk the street homeless and mentally disturbed, and then you feed the homeless." And he said, "To God be the glory." That's all he could say. Took him to church, and we had communion over him, prayed, and gave his life to Christ, and got saved and everything. I mean, it just so I am content in the whole situation because only God can do it like that.
And gave you a chance to spend 3 years with your dad.
Yes.
You went to pick him up, man. I remember you told me your wife and y'all was just screaming and hollering when you received your phone call.
Yes.
Your dad is alive, man. And I tear up a lot of times because me and you are so close. And I can remember those days you said, "I'm going to spend some time with my dad." You know, and I remember you telling me, man, when he passed away, man, I never forgot that. And those beautiful times that you had spending with your dad, man, was, I mean, and to see his kids, grandkids for the first time, boy.
Yes.
Man, that had to be a life moment that you will never forget. Moment.
God be the glory. That's what it's called. God talk. God talk. To God be the glory.
Yeah. And those who are watching, this is a brand new show on Pick TV Network. Those who don't know, I'm the president and founder of Pick TV Network, David Evans in Washington, D.C. I just came from California for 30 days. I was blessed to go to tour Paramount Studios to change my life, Warner Brothers Studios to change my life, Universal Studios. When I walked in there and seeing how everything's set up, I came back with a brand new vision to my city in D.C. and said, we got to do something. My next step is to go to Tyler Perry Studios. If anybody watching, I'm coming to Atlanta to do some things, and I want to meet some great people down in Atlanta. We just came from Charlotte, North Carolina for 10 days. We did some shooting out there. And it was, thank God for just the opportunity to celebrate Mother Edwards' 90th birthday. 90 years. She's 90 years young. You're going to be seeing her doing her presentation that we had. Matter of fact, you can watch it. Go over to YouTube, put in Mother Edwards' 90th birthday celebration. It is a VIP opportunity for you to watch it. And we did the media coverage for that. I think you're really going to be inspired by looking at that on YouTube. YouTube's Pick TV Spotlight, Mother Edwards' 90th birthday celebration. Well, we have another show coming up after this, folks. I want to thank you for coming in and watching Pick TV, which is the place to be. Our Instagram audience, love you guys over there. I know you're watching with us. A lot of stars out there in Instagram world. I want to thank you. Facebook world, I want to thank you. YouTube world, I want to thank you, everybody watching, fans around the world. Pick TV Network, we're on Roku. We have fans in Brazil, France, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Paris, Peru, Argentina, Egypt, Canada, Ireland, West Africa, United Kingdom, Australia, Belgium. We have fans all over the world with interpreters through Roku. I want to say thank you for allowing me to come on and to be a part of this opportunity. I also want to thank my man Joel Hill for coming on. He has a movie trailer for his book that's coming out real soon. Let me see if I can get Joel to come back. Joel, can you give us some information on the project you got coming out? Come on, Joel, we're here.
Okay, great. Thank you for this. And I was inspired by Pastor Bowie said that he wanted to write his book. And so I want to let him know that it is possible to write your book. You can get that book out there and get it out of you, because if you're like me, it's going to weigh heavily on you until you get it out, because God has ordained it already. And so that's why I decided to write my book, Awakening the Berean Spirit in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. It's on Amazon. It's called Eternal Seekers, Awakening the Berean Spirit. And this book hopefully helps guys, Christians, in the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence while training through the biblical principles. And so I'm going to just play the short, I'm going to share my screen and play the short book trailer.
The AI age is here. Will you shape it or be shaped by it? In the book of Acts, the Bereans were called noble for their discernment and wisdom. Today, we face the greatest mind shift in history, the AI revolution. We can't blindly accept its changes, nor totally reject this powerful technology. We need a Berean approach. So too with artificial intelligence, the most powerful technology humanity has ever created. We must be modern day Bereans. This book equips you to be a modern day Berean. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. As Fei Fei Li once said, the question of how AI is developed and used will shape the future of humanity. Be a part of shaping that future.
Man, I love that, Joe. 5 stars, man. Oh, man, please. We're going to put that on Pick TV Network book channel. We're going to play that over and over again, man. I love that. That's 5 stars right there, Joe. You put it together, man.
Thank you.
That was
Jerome, you're next, buddy.
Yes, sir.
That was. I'm always excited about people who doing amazing things. And Joe, we're gonna put that on Pick TV Network. That has to be one of the #1 commercials and projects out there. And if anybody want to get in touch with you, Joe, give them the information if they want to get in touch with you.
Well, there are a couple of ways you can get in touch with us. Preferably through one of our social media sites. We're on Facebook, Kemet Group, KEMIT Group. We have a Facebook page. We have a LinkedIn profile, Kemet Group. All you gotta do is Google our name. And we also have a page, and let's see if I'll put it in the chat. It's AIforHumanitySolutions.com. And so I'll put that in the chat for Dr. Evans. And it's www.AI for humanity, it's HUMANITY solutions.com. Long word is all spelled out. So you can reach us through there and find out what's going on in the world of artificial intelligence. But we focus on ethical AI and using it for good. And that's what distinguished us, our group, Kemet Group, from a lot of other actors in the world today, because they don't focus on the things of beauty that are good that can be produced with generative artificial intelligence. Now, there's a lot of cat memes out there people are producing, or pictures of different things that you want to look at that has no value for elevating humanity. And so, just as Jerome is elevating humanity through his food program, we're trying to elevate humanity and from a insight of how to use this intelligence in their small business, their ministry, social services, healthcare, anything. And so we focus on that, and we also focus on the fact that we are having a national level training event in October 17th through 19th in the Washington, D.C. area. We'll probably be doing in National Harbor. It's a 2-day certification program. Announcements will be coming out soon, and we'll certainly post it on PIC TV Network.
Man, I'm always excited about what you're doing to affect the world, man. And now you've been an investor in PIC TV Network and shows and programs that we have going on. And the best is yet to come. We're getting ready to go into the holiday seasons. If you need assistance out there watching, Jerome Boyd will help bring food trucks to your city, to your area. This is the man who also helps with the overflow distribution centers. When you have overflow items from Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Bath Beauty, and beyond, Jerome Boyd is the man who helps you. I hear the dog. He wants to come on the dog show. I've been blessed to have my brother to come on and to help people. Jerome, can you tell people again, man? I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of items that the big companies, they just have ready to dispute. You pick them up, you go there and give them out to folks around and help folks in the community, man. Thank you a million times plus, man. I mean, Pastor Boyd, tell us about how does it feel when you open that center and you see people getting items 5 blocks long that was donated. These are not just donated items.
It's just a blessing too, because like I say, my mother has 6 kids and she found a way, you know what I mean, to take care of all of us. I remember her going through a program. The government program told her if she get into this program, she'd get a good job and she could do better for her family. And she got in that program, and through the program she got a good job. So she moved us from the project to Berry Farms to College Park, Maryland, to a single family home. You know what I mean? With a dog in the basement and 6 kids. We moved from, you know what I mean? So anything is possible, because people don't know what people are going through, but to have a place where you can just bless people, put a smile on their face, it's nothing like it. And through the distribution centers, God has blessed us throughout through the years to be able to put smiles on people's face, put food on people's tables, gifts on people's trees, and give gifts to each other throughout the year. So to God be the glory. He's a great God. He'll make a way out of no way.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, man, because we have a project. We've been working on this for the last 3 years that we want to do something with MGM, and we want to bring we want to feed over 100,000 people for turkeys. Remember, we want to just fill a whole lot up, and we partnership with them, but we want to do something to help to feed the city. We want to feed the city, and we know that a lot of times folks are doing some amazing thing with the food bank. My man, Bishop Twyman, St. Stephen's Baptist.
Oh my God, wonderful! He's a modern day Joseph, man. He's feeding the city for so long, man. I mean, lines going around the corner. St. Stephen's, God bless y'all. Man. Pastor Twyman, good friend of mine.
Yeah, he's doing it big.
Go to the conferences with him and all that type of stuff. Allowed me to go back in the day to the ministers' conferences with him. thought in that robbery. So I thank God for that man of God.
And nobody should be hungry in the DMV because every Tuesday, 5757 Temple Hills Road, Temple Hills, Maryland, St. Stephen's. It's a mobile food distribution where you can get free food, eggs, butter, produce, anything you want.
Bacon, ham, turkeys. Not only that, they also, as the women, they go down to the shelters, man, and pamper the women.
Yeah.
And they pick them up. I was down. I called them one time. They had their vans down and picking them up from the shelters, bringing them to the church, pampering them, doing their hair, getting them makeup and cutting hair and all that, man. It's awesome ministry. St. Stephen's, shout out to Twyman, man. They're doing it forever.
And that's what it's about, man.
Yes.
Helping people. This is not just a once a month thing. They do it every Tuesday. Elder Gant, they have over 100 people out there. You drive up there, it's a food distribution. I go there and help give out food, and I feel so good. And we have a movie out, short film called Miracle Tuesdays. You can watch it on YouTube. We shot that on site.
Yeah, you was going there every Tuesday shooting, getting footage.
Every Tuesday.
I tell you, man, it's just an honor to know that man. That man is a man of integrity. Not only that church also blesses the hospital, St. Jude's, man. They are big sponsors of St. Jude's, man. I'm telling you, some tremendous stuff they do over there at St. Stephen's.
And even
God be the glory.
Even you, Pastor Boy, when you were down there with the truck, you were renting out trucks and putting all types of food. You and your wife getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, giving out food to help the homeless downtown DC in the snow. Because I was there with you, and Jill and Pam was with you.
Yes. Thomas Entertainment, Jill and Pam, and a lot of the friends came down and volunteered. But Twyman also, his ministry, St. Stephen's, we would go there and get dozens and dozens of eggs and bread and
helping people.
We had boiled eggs for the homeless, man. I'm telling you, this a blessing to the truck. He said, "Come on down, Pastor, get some of this stuff." So I would go to get stuff from them, load up our trucks, man. It was a blessing.
Yeah, and anybody, again, we have a brand new talk show on Pick TV Network. It's a TV show called God's Talk Show, where you talk about God and what He's done in your life and what He's doing. And Jerome Bowie talked about his father missing out of his life for 45 years. And no having no regrets, picked him up, took him to his house, fed him, clothed him, and just been the best son he could be until Dad passed on. So I want to give a lot of love out to you and everybody's watching. You can come on this show. It's a brand new show. All you had to do is take a moment out of your schedule and say, I want to come on the God's Talk Show, and it's 202-505-2837. We would love to bring you on. I want to thank my man, Joe here for coming on. We got to put your website up there, man. This you guys, man, we made history. So as this show grows and as more and more people come on, I can't wait till we have some stars on here, boy. Stars who want to talk about God, because some of their contracts and some of the things that they have, they're restricted. But when they come on here, there's no restriction. There's no editing God out or Jesus Christ, the Lord done in your life. And I know a lot of movie stars, a lot of actors, directors, producers just want to say something good about God. Well, this is the platform to tell the world on this brand new talk show on Pick TV Network. God's Talk Show. This is for God, about God, and with God. How about that?
Yes. This is the first kickoff show of that. So to God be the glory for hundreds of thousands or more. You heard I say, to God be the glory for hundreds of thousands of more shows.
And you know, Jerome, I want to say to you, man, because like nobody knows, when we first started Pick TV Network 4 years ago, I needed some funds because I didn't even have money to start this network. I didn't have the education, the skills, the ability. But you said this is going to work. I remember your exact words. You said, this network is going to work. And I said, why you keep saying that? Because you said you put everything into it.
You was dedicated. You was committed. You was sold out on it. I mean, when you're that dedicated, committed, sold out, things have to happen. Things have to happen.
Yeah, and it is happening, man. I can't wait to tell you guys about my experience in going to California for a month. Paramount Picture Studios, Warner Brothers. I got video footage. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you something now. While I was there, I was practicing my award speech. Watch this. I'm here at the Film Academy here, Television Academy. And the biggest stage right here is where the movies take place. People dream of making it to the top. And when I come into this place and I see this, I get ready for my practice speech for what I'm gonna say one day when I'm on the stage right here, talking to the world right there. This is the place where people come to and they see films before they hit the big stage. The Academy team comes here to view films at this place in Hollywood, California. And just to be here is a blessing. To be here to shoot a scene, to take some footage, Pick TV Network World, this is it. All the movie fans around the world, just take a look at this. This is big. This is history. God is so good. And I'm getting ready for my practice speech for the one-day acceptance of one of the greatest awards I ever received in telling my story to the world. You know, it's a beautiful thing when you get to a place in life when your dreams come true. And to be on one of the biggest stages in the world is one of the great honors. And to practice and get ready for that day is amazing. You know, when you step down and you walk into a new place in life and you see yourself there before the cameras and crowd and people come, you're ready. Because proper preparation prevents poor performance. And planning your work and working my plan, telling the world about Pick TV Network and my success story is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, so that's my dream, you know, to be up there. Jerome is clapping, man.
Awesome, man. You got to see it because one of my coaches, you have to see it before you see it. That's
Yeah.
what faith is.
Hey, you know that's a sermon. You better preach that for somebody to get it,
You
man.
got to see it before you see it. That's what faith is. Your faith is your praise. You got faith.
Yeah.
You see it before it's
And that is the television academy where they get Academy Awards, man. And it was my son is on the team, and I was blessed to go in because of him. And I walked on that stage, and there was a microphone. I said, "Well, let me go to work. Let me go to work." Hey, Joe. As soon as I seen that microphone on that stage, I said, "Now it's time." So that's what faith is, man. That's what faith is. And those who watching right there, you know, I was in California and I had to just get up there in this dream. And, you know, if God sees it before we see it, and he's there before we get there. So I want to always give him glory on that stage, man. I can't get up there and then forget about who did it, who allowed me to be where I am because of what I am. You know, God made me what I know. God taught me who I am. He raised me to be where I am. So I can't go into those big lights and big stages and forget about who he is. So Pick TV Network fans, thank you for watching. We have another show after this. We got to go.
Yes.
This has been amazing. This is our first show that we have on called God's Talk Show. If you'd like to come on, we'd love for you to be on this brand new show. It's a television show, not just social media. Call 202-505-2837. You can join us just like Jerome Bowie. You can link in from wherever you are around the world. Just like Joel Hill, you can come in from wherever you are, and we give you the opportunity to share your testimony about what God has done in your life and what he means to you. All right? Thank you for watching Pick TV Network. We'll see you next time on the next show. Many blessings coming to you from all over the world.
Hey, friend. I want to share some exciting news with you. The Pick TV DMV Media Blast is here to help you promote your election, product, or public event to a massive audience. With up to 700,000 Washington, D.C. residents, 6 million Maryland residents, and 8 million Virginia residents, you'll be able to reach a wide range of people. If you're interested and want more information, feel free to give Dr. David Evans a call at 202-505-2837. He'll be more than happy to assist you and skyrocket your event. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity.
What's the TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
What's the TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
What's the TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
TV network you're going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
TV network you're going to be watching?
Pick TV Network.
TV network you guys going to be watching?
The Pick TV Network.
Happy man. What's the TV network y'all going to be checking out?
The Pick TV Network.
Pick TV Network.
Let's go.
David Evans.
It's big. I want everyone to download the Pick TV Network on your Roku search bar. My brother David Evans is growing Pick TV fans, and I want us to help my brother blow up Pick TV. Boom!
Yo, what's up? This bruh man from the fifth floor. Yo, look at here. Y'all need to support the new Coaching World channel on Pick TV Network. It's all that. I mean, go to www.watchpicktv.com. That's PIC TV.com. It's all that. So spread the word. You know, the new Coaches channel. That's Pick TV Network. www.watchpicktv.com. You know, my dude, man, David Edwards is the president, all right, of the Pick TV Network. So let's support him. You know, Pick TV, all coaches need to be off up on this here channel. I mean, it's like money in the bank. Matter of fact, it's like Serb sandwiches in the bank. All the Serb sandwiches that you can eat. Watching PickTV.com for the coaches. Peace.
Hey Hey everyone, this is Trina. Now I want everyone to download the Pick TV network on your Roku search. Bar David Evans is the president and growing Pick TV fans, and I want us all to help my brother out. So now make sure you click and play www.thepicktvrnetwork.com.